We can all recall the excitement of our first crush. But Ellie Gould experienced something unfathomable. The man she had long adored. The joy of youthful love swept off her feet. Sweet gestures and sneaky looks marked the beginning of their relationship. But Ellie had no idea that the fairy tale would soon take a terrible twist. We will hear the sad story of Ellie, a 17-year-old who believed she had found the one in this intriguing video. Ellie Gould, born in 2002 in Caen, Wiltshire, England, was a happy, stable person with big plans for the future. She was committed to her A-level academics at 17, focusing on psychology and getting ready for college. In addition to her academic endeavors, Ellie had a strong passion for horseback riding and a great love of animals. She was well known for her dedication and sense of duty, and her parents were very proud of her commitment to her academics. Early in 2019, as Ellie was celebrating her 17th birthday, she joyfully told her parents that Thomas Griffiths, a classmate, had asked her out and they had begun seeing each other. Thomas and Ellie had been friends since 7th grade, and both were A-level students at her school. Ellie was happy when they formally made it official. Thomas had a fantastic future awaiting him and a solid family foundation. He was the prefect at his school and a gifted rugby footballer. Although they would have preferred that Ellie concentrate on her schoolwork, Ellie's parents knew how important teenage love was and intended to be welcoming about it. They allowed Ellie to date, but they needed to make sure she was good, so they arranged to meet Thomas. They asked him to come over for dinner to get to know him. Ellie's parents watched Thomas closely that evening as they ate dinner together in the kitchen, trying to gauge his behavior. They could not lend a hand but observe his restrained and silent manner despite the overt danger indicators. His youth and the usual apprehension of meeting someone's family for the first time were blamed for his laid-back demeanor. They were, however, still filled with uncertainty. Her parents secretly worried his demeanor, but they agreed to give Thomas a chance and Ellie an opportunity to make their own choices. But they suspected that the romance would not last long due to them not being compatible. After dating for 3 months, Ellie began showing dissatisfaction with Thomas. The pressure to always be with him left her with little time for herself and friends. Thomas was very possessive and angry when she tried hanging out with her friends. Ellie too found it challenging to balance Thomas's unreasonable expectations with her A-level studies. She realized she wasn't ready for a lifelong commitment, just as Thomas began broaching the subject of being married. Ellie told her mother she was breaking up with Thomas in the early May. Her mother wasn't completely taken aback, so she questioned if Ellie needed to talk about it what brought about her choice. Ellie told her mother nothing unusual had occurred. She wanted to handle it all alone. She went to her room to send Thomas a breakup message later. Ellie was adamant about breaking up with Thomas, even with his repeated denials and vows of love, claiming they were destined to be together. Since Ellie did not have any early morning lessons, she asked both of her parents if she could stay home in the morning and go to school in the afternoon, when she had classes. She wanted to use the opportunity to prepare for approaching exams. Ellie's parents agreed, and the next day she made arrangements with a close friend to be picked up at 11 a.m. so they could go to school together. On May 3, 2019, Thomas visited the school canteen to see Ellie. He insisted on talking about their breakup from the night before. He was told by her classmates that she had missed class that day. He told his teacher he was sick and went to the bus station to catch a ride. Thomas rode the bus back home and promptly changed into black pants, a black hoodie, and black sneakers to replace the white ones he had been wearing. But just as he began to depart, his mom returned to the house to grab something. Thomas hid in the closet until she left the room so no one would suspect he had missed class. When she left, Thomas retrieved the keys to the family's second vehicle and drove to Ellie's house. When he arrived at Ellie's house, he knocked on the door and demanded to speak to her. Thomas found out that Ellie was serious about the breakup. Thomas became very angry and started to choke her during the altercation, punching and scratching Thomas in hopes that he will let go. But Thomas wouldn't let go, and he kept trying to choke Ellie until she lost consciousness. He then took a knife from the kitchen cabinet and stabbed Ellie 13 times in her neck. When he saw that she was no longer breathing, he removed the knife from her neck and rinsed it in the sink, taking special care to remove any traces of his fingerprints. He re-stabbed Ellie, this time covering the knife wounds with her hand to make it appear that she had done it to herself. After Thomas had finished cleaning out the crime scene, he posed as Ellie and texted her friend from her phone. He told her friend that she didn't need to be picked up for school anymore, in an attempt to delay the discovery of Ellie. He also messaged himself from Ellie's phone multiple times, asking to meet up to discuss their breakup. The police immediately suspected it was murder after discovering all the evidence. They told Ellie's grieving parents that they were investigating a murder and that the killer was usually someone the victim knew. Ellie's parents were asked if they knew of anyone who might have wished to hurt their daughter, and Thomas Griffiths was the only name they could think of. Thomas's face was scratched when people visited his home to ask about Ellie's death. Even though he denied it, the police began to suspect him. His Wi-Fi history on the phone was examined and revealed a disconnection from his phone around the time of the murder. Surveillance cameras also monitored the area around Ellie's home. Thomas's family's civil Ford Fiesta was seen departing the area monitored by cameras at 11:56. Thomas said that he had nothing to do with the crime and was nowhere near the site. After noon, Thomas's phone was disconnected from the home network for 18 minutes. A further search of the surrounding forested area uncovered a black bin liner and several things covered in blood. It was Ellie's blood. It led to Thomas's capture and subsequent murder charges. Thomas Griffiths notified the court in August 2019 that he will be entering a guilty plea for homicide. He confirmed to be going to Ellie's home on May 2, 2019, and claimed he and Ellie got into a fight. He then said he had a blackout and did not recall what occurred. The prosecution countered that Thomas carefully planned to murder Ellie. They mentioned that he had left school to change clothes, that he had cleaned up the location for the crime to make it look like an act of suicide, and that he had tried to prevent Ellie's body from being found by contacting a friend to cancel their meeting. Rather than acting on impulse in response to the disagreement, he showed signs of intent and calculation by trying to destroy all of the evidence and fabricate an alibi for himself. Thomas Griffiths was given a prison term of life, with the possibility of release after 12 years. British law does not allow entire life sentences for perpetrators under 18. The judge also expressed skepticism that Thomas's killing had been planned, because he used a knife from the Gould home rather than carrying a weapon to the scene. In the year 2031, Thomas Griffiths might be eligible for release. Unfair how Ellie's loved ones have to live with the fact that her life was meaninglessly cut short. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never stop seeking the truth.